Jesus' name. Father, speak your word. And we thank you for doing it in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's praise God for Sister Kim being in Lofton. All right, got it. Let's praise God for Sister Kim Lofton. Let's pray. Thank you so very much, woman of God, for coming into the house of God this morning. Amen. Well, let's get into the Word of God. Thank God for my lovely wife. Hey, what's up with you? Ain't seen you in about 5 minutes. Make it harder, brother. We are continuing our series which is on You Are Just Hard-Headed. Mm-hmm. And we found out last week that the Bible says, he said that he set your face like a flint. Yeah. He said, I have set your head against their head. I went on to talk about how some people are just stubborn in some of their ways. And I went on to talk about that sometimes that stubbornness can work for you. You're not easily persuaded. You're not easily moved from your position because you are hard-headed. I came to let you know that God is the one that made you that way. It was God that made you that way. It was not you. You said, now why am I like this? Well, it's because God caused you for such a time as this to turn that stubbornness around, which is not being stubborn not to come to Christ, but now you're stubborn in him and you're going to continue to do what God has called you to do. Yeah. Am I making sense to anybody here? Yeah. So here, we continue our series, which is on being hard-headed, hard like a flint. Here is a man named Daniel. Daniel was a man that God used mightily in his day and in his hour. And there was something that God had given him, and it was his secret to his blessing, to his elevation. There was one secret that Daniel had, and I'm not going to preach a long time, but I just want to give you this one secret. And that is, look at Daniel 6:1. Daniel 6:1. Here is Daniel, and he's got people around him, colleagues, and now the king, which is Darius. And take a look at it. It says, it pleased Darius, read together, please, all together once again. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120. Which should be over the whole kingdom. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. Look at the second verse. Look what it says here. Second verse. This is important. Read together. It says, and over the presidents, listen, of whom Daniel was first. Wait. That's whoa. That went fast right there. Daniel is now head over everything. There is the king, and then there is Daniel. So take a look at this. And it says, over the presidents whom Daniel was first. Somebody say, this is my turn. Somebody say, come on, can you do it by faith? Say, I'm first. Look what it says. And it says, and I heard the Spirit say, because you've been last for a long time. It said, and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Come on here. Read it. It says here that the princes, what? Might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. In other words, he said, now, Daniel, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you over the whole kingdom. I'm trusting you over the presidents. I'm trusting you over everything, and I don't want to have any lack. There's nothing worse than a pastor that puts people over something, and then what happens is it starts to decrease. And then when it decreases and they tear up everything, then they quit. Oh, somebody please talk to me here. Nothing worse than that. You know, they talk about the pastor, what you need to do, and what you need to do. And God said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to put you over and see, I'm going to put you over them two people and see how you do. And then when they tear up everything and it falls down, say, well, I quit these hard-headed people. What they, yeah? Yeah, well, God, he caused them to come into your life so that you can get yourself together.
Come on. Yeah.
So now it says you put them over the presidents and over the first and the princes that might what? They might give an account of them, and the king should have no damage. Third verse. We're going to get to the secret. So what happened in the third verse? Take a look. Third verse. Read together.
Then Daniel was preferred.
Then Daniel was what?
Preferred.
He was preferred above the presidents, above the princes. Why? Because he had an excellent spirit in him. Everything he did it in excellence. He didn't fool around. He went to work, he did it in excellence. He came to church, he did it in excellence. When he studied, he did it in excellence. When he dressed, he did it in excellence. Everything he did it in excellence. He had an excellent spirit. He did not fall for every little thing. Some people say, well, that'll do. Does that little stuff get on people's nerve? I mean, have you ever been doing something and it wasn't quite right and you wouldn't quite quit until it wasn't? Have you ever been in that place of, you know what? This ain't right. I got to make sure that this is right. I got to make sure I'm over the usher, or I'm over the cleaning, or I'm over the administration, or I'm over the choir. No, I can hear Sister Melanie say, no, that ain't the right no. That's all right. And some people might think that she's a little mean, but she's not mean. What's wrong with her? She's got an excellent spirit. Is anybody hearing what I'm saying here? And you want to be around people like that. I know my wife. Sometimes I challenge her and she challenges me. And that's a good thing, because you want to be around people not to patronize you, to make you feel good, even when you're wrong. No, what you want to do is you want to get around people that's going to get in your face and say, listen, you know better than that. Come on here, because you have an excellent spirit. And because you have an excellent spirit. See, some people don't like them kind of people. They don't like people to tell them the truth. They don't like people to challenge them to be more. They just want to be patronized in a place where they're at. And this is the way I feel. This is how I was raised. And this is who I am. And this is what it's going to be. And this is what it's all about. And then what happens? They never grow. And they're 107 years old. And they're still the same person, mean and cantankerous. And
come on. That's right.
but you got to be around people with an excellent spirit that want to bring the thing to the next place. And Daniel challenged everybody around him. And let's see what the culprit of that excellent spirit was. And it says, and the king sought to set him over the whole realm. Daniel was no joke. Why? Because he had an excellent spirit. Number one, if you're taking notes, Daniel was preferred over his peers because of his excellent spirit. I'm telling you, if you're over the bathroom ministry, go to the cheap store and get some perfume and just sprinkle it on the carpet. When people walk in there and say, boy, it sure do smell good in here. Come on. You walk in there, you see Lysol. It's something about the floors. It's something about the way that it looks. I don't care what you're doing. If God has put you over something, don't play with it. Don't fool with it. Don't you do your job better than you do the house of God. Nobody in here. Just tell the people outside. Because you God is saying, look, you got to have it. If you want me to bless you, I've got to make sure that you have an excellent spirit.
Come on. Yes.
I know when my father was pastoring, what I'd do was I'd back his car in, and I would take they had a club. You ever seen them clubs over the steering wheel?
Yeah.
I'd take the club off the steering wheel, make sure his mama was in the car, the air conditioner was on. Come on, somebody. I'd come down to the church, and I'd anoint the seats before church and walk through the sanctuary. Come on. I'd come down through the week, and I would shut in 2 or 3 days because I wanted to make sure that the atmosphere was right. Come on here. If God called me, listen, if he saved me, if I was in the world and acted a fool real good, I know how to come in here and act a fool real good. Somebody come on here. I didn't change because I came up in here. Look, I went to work, and I went to San Diego Transit. I went to work. They wrote letters about me. They wrote them to the mayor. I got letters. I got letters right now sitting in my box saying, this man here is no joke. He's great, and he speaks to people, and he picks them up, and he lets them off, and he has a smooth ride Am I talking right, Sister Peggy? Why? Because my wife the same way. Because when you have an excellent spirit, you want to do it to the best of your ability. You don't want to just throw God something. You throw him something, he's going to throw you something. But if you're excellent, he's going to be excellent to you. You faithful, he'll be faithful. If you slouchy, he'll be slouchy. When you, somebody talk back to me here. You got to have that excellent spirit. Now, you cannot just do it from your mind, but it's got to be in you. Somebody say it's in you. I don't care where you go. If you go to Timbuktu, New York, Tumbleweed Road, Louisiana, I don't care where you go. You're going to have an excellent spirit wherever you go. And you're going to demand excellence all around you. I went one time to a church, and oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys, but I went to a church one time. And we were having an early morning service. I thought I would go to the church and just, I said, well, I need some more church. I love, pastors love church. I did church all day. My wife said, ooh, church again? Yeah, church again. I love me some church, right? And so I went to this church and I sat behind, they had me behind the pulpit. There's a few people in the church. And he was, and they hollered, they didn't have no microphone. And I talked to the pastor. I said, do that microphone work? He said, yeah, it works. He about to fall asleep in the pulpit. I said, well, let's heat it up. He said, well, you can heat it up if you want to, whatever you want to do. I said, are you kidding me? I'm telling you, and the place was, I don't know why, but God allowed me to be in the place, and it was just slouchy. The people were slouchy, because like priests, you got like people, and they're slouchy, and it's just slouchy. I said, oh my God, what are you doing, man? I mean, I didn't tell him that because it's his spot, but all I could do was just try to be as excellent as I possibly could. When you're over the choir, I don't care what it is. Oh my God, oh Lord, why am I over here? Y'all please pray for me. Oh my God. When I was over the choir in San Diego and my dad's church, and when it was okay, time for the choir. The choir would be getting up and pulling up their socks and fooling around, digging their, coming from all over the ground, fooling around, getting up to us. No. The old choir president, he would let them take their robes home and bring them back when they wanted to. The minute that I took it off, I said, all robes, be calling them in. They will never leave this church. What? No, they ain't never leaving this place. Number two, you ain't going to be slouching getting up. No. When it's time to get up, they said the choir, I would go, and they would sit up in their chair. They would sit, they wouldn't stand, they'd be leaning back, and they go, and people look and say, what in the world is this? And they would go, all at the same time. Come on, somebody. Who is this guy? Come on, when you got an excellent, Jesus was like that. He had an excellent, he died on purpose. He died for real. He said, I'm going to do a good job. If I'm going to come and do this for my Father, I'm going to do a good job. He despised the shame. He sat down at the right hand of the Father because he had an excellent spirit. Okay, so the Bible says, so Daniel was preferred over his peers. Why? Look at number 4. It says, then the presidents and the princes, they sought to find an occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find an occasion or fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error found in him. So, number 2 thing is Daniel had haters. The minute that you get into the place, the minute that God starts blessing you, the minute that you, oh Lord Jesus, the minute that you are preferred, you become the topic of conversation. And you know why? You know why you're the topic? You know why you're the topic? Somebody asked me why. You know why? Because you're at the top. So when you're at the top, you are the topic. Oh, is anybody hearing what I'm saying here? See, some people can't stand to be blessed. They can't handle being blessed because people start talking about them. They start hating on them. They start going behind their back. They start carousing and doing all kinds of things because what they're trying to do. They're trying to hate on them because they're trying to bring them down. See, they start talking crazy to them, Pastor Johnson. They start trying to get them out their game is what they're trying to do. See, but if you can't handle your haters, you're not ready for elevation. If you can't handle your haters, come on here. Don't you know that Bishop T.D. Jakes, they got stuff on the internet about him right now? Oh, he's this and he's that and he's stealing money and he's a false preacher and he's false pretenses. And you know what Bishop Jakes keeps doing? Get ready, get ready, get ready,
Come on
get
now.
ready. You gotta keep on keeping on. You can't stop because of your haters. You think you ready for the big time, but you ain't ready yet. You know why you ain't ready? Because you can't handle the haters. You can't handle being the topic. Don't you know when you wear a silk hat that people want to take it off? That's a part of it. That's a part of it. When you're doing something. I know at the 54th Street Church, you know when we were down at the 54th Street Church, the city came after us. They said that we was crowding the place up and you needed another bathroom and all kinds of other stuff. They was trying to shut us down. See, we doing the Heritage Day Festival Parade and God is blessing us and moving in us and doing all kinds of great things through us. And so now the city comes after us and tries to shut us down. Well, guess what? God had a ram in the bush, and this is when he gave us the new place, 4166 National Avenue. And we looked around and said, where they at? No, they're gone. You know why? Because God's had them. So I talked to the next pastor, Pastor Wilson, Wilkins. I talked to the next pastor. And when I talked to the next, I said, Pastor so-and-so. I said, is the city coming after you? He said, man, they ain't heard from no city. You know why? You know why? Because we were a topic. Because he said, if we ain't doing that, you the one doing all that stuff. It was because we became a topic. And when you are a topic, they're going to come after you with everything that you are. Because they want to stop you. They don't want you to become anything that God wants you to be. But I came to let you know today that you're going to endure the tough times. Come on, somebody. I'm still preaching, y'all. Come on here. You're going to endure the tough times. You're going to be everything that God called you to do. You're going to be able to look at your haters right in your face, and you're going to say, I love you anyway, and you can't do nothing about it. You're going to let them know that, yes, God's blessing. In this season, you better get ready, because if you can't handle the money that God's going to bring into your life, if you can't really handle the souls that are getting ready to come into your life, if you can't handle the elevation that God's getting ready to bring into your life, then you ain't ready. But somebody say, I'm ready, Pastor. Come on, somebody say, come on, you got to decree it and declare it in the name of Jesus. So then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against him, Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find an occasion or fault. For as much as he was what?
Faithful.
Neither was there any error found in him. Look at the number 5th verse. Number 5 verse. Then said these men, oh, we shall not find any occasion against him. Oh, good. This Daniel, what we going to do? Except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Oh, number 6. Oh, what can we do? We got to take him down. He's over us. We got to take him down. And this is then these presidents and princes, they assembled together to the king and said unto him, king. And they ain't really meaning no good, but they trying to take the king. King Darius, live forever. Praise the Lord, King. Look what it says in the 7th verse. And it says, all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have been searched together. We've all come together. And we've been talking. I said, we've been talking. To establish a royal statute. King Hiram said, what is it, my son? And to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, except you, king, accept me, he shall be cast in the lion's den. And number 3 thing is, the devil is coming after your prayer life. That's what I came to talk about. What was Daniel's secret? His secret was his prayer life.
Amen.
He said, we're going to make a decree that we can't make up the petition to know God. They knew that, why is this guy being elevated like this? Well, how was he first in command? How was this happening? Oh, we see what he does. He prays. And so you got to understand, when the devil comes at you, it ain't people, it's the devil coming after after you because he's coming after your prayer life. If he takes your prayer life, he'll take your elevation. If he takes your prayer life, he'll take everything. Did you got the prayer? Let me well, one for you educated folk. In one National Institute of Health funded study, individuals who prayed daily were shown to be 40% less likely to have high blood pressure than those that were without prayer. Research at Delmont Medical School found that patients with strong religious beliefs who underwent elective heart surgery were 3 times more likely to recover than those that were not. In 2011, a study of the inner city youth with asthma by researchers at the University of Cincinnati indicates that those who practice prayer and meditation experience fewer or less severe symptoms that did not. Oh my God. Other studies show that prayer boosts the immune system and helps to lessen the severity of frequency and wide range of illnesses. I'm talking about studies. Wow. People that pray. And let me tell you something. When you stop praying, the devil, he knows that he'll get you. And so what he does is he sends all kind of stuff into your life to get you in your flesh that you'll stop praying. He'll stop you from getting up in the morning. You used to pray. You know, you used to get up. You used to get up and pray. You would spend time with God. But just here lately, I'm talking about somebody outside, not you. Yeah, lately. I'm trying to take your prayer life. You get tired, you get sleepy. I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like. And what the devil is doing is he's taking your only ammunition to your elevation. He's taking your only ammunition to cause you to go up to the next level. He's taking, come on here, the reason that you're going to get that promotion. God says you got to pray. The Bible says, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you've received them and you shall have them. And I tell you all the time, in heaven, things are things. They're not thoughts. Now, thoughts are things. So when you think a thing in heaven, the thing shows up. So you got to understand that when God calls you to pray for a thing, that it's already done and it's already happened. But sometimes it takes a little while for it to come into fruition into the physical realm. So now, here you are, you are a prayer warrior, and you're starting to get with God, and God is blessing you. But guess what? The devil sees your blessing coming in the atmosphere. So what he does is he sends something after you. He sends some junk after you to start to get you in your flesh. And now you start hollering instead of praying. You start talking crazy instead of praying. You come on here. You start looking into the word instead of praying. And God is saying you need to look into your word and make me remind myself of my covenant. Remind me of my word. Get into my word. Come on, speak those things. Call those things which be not as though they were. This is what it is all about. And this is what it has been about. It's to take you away from your prayer. Not when things are going bad, but when things are also going good. I know people, oh my God, somebody gets sick. Oh God, mama, Jesus, anybody, just show up and help me. But what about when things are going well? Do you still have the same fervency? Do you still pray like you used to pray? Do you still have a reason to get on your knees and to spend time? I'm not talking about 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day. No, I'm talking about not just now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I don't know if you've ever gotten into some serious trouble, but have you ever had to stay on your knees until God changed the situation around? Have you? Am I talking to anybody in here? Is anybody here glad about your prayer life? Why don't you praise the Lord for your prayer life? Come on, you praise God for your prayer life. Prayer is what it's all about. Spend time in prayer. I don't care what your petition is. So look what it says. Look what it says in the 8th verse. And so it says in the 8th verse, it says, now, O king, establish a decree and sign the writing that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, that it won't alter. Now, here's Daniel. He's hard-headed. Look at the 9th verse. Look at the 9th verse. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing into a decree. Nobody in the kingdom is supposed to pray for 30 days. It was the devil that came after the position of Daniel. Because he knew that if he could stop Daniel from praying, that he was going to get him to come down. Let's see what Daniel did with his hard-headed self. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went to his house and his windows being open. Now, wait a minute. And the chamber toward Jerusalem. Come on, he didn't shut up and, oh, come on, Jesus, in the name of Jesus. And then, come on, God. No, the Bible says he opened his window. And it says, open the chamber toward Jerusalem, and he kneeled down upon his knees 3 times a day. Daniel said, you think that I'm going to stop praying because you a hater? You think I'm going to stop praying? You think I'm going to stop from getting on my knees? You coming at me. I don't care who do you think you are, King. I love you. I thank you for your elevation. But I thank God that it was God the one that gave me the position. I understand that it was. I tell my wife all the time, I know who gave me the good wife. I know who gave me the great children. I know who it was. I got to get to pray. I got to pray because I know what got me here. If it hadn't been for the Lord that was on my side. Am I talking to anybody here? If it wasn't for the Lord that was on my side, I would have fainted a long time ago. I know good well I'd be dead, sleeping in my grave when I fell through a window and lost 4 liters of blood and the body only holds 5. I knew that it was prayer that kept me. The reason you're here today is because your mama, your grandmama, somebody prayed for you. Come on, somebody say, I thank God for prayer. So I came to let you know today, don't you stop praying, don't you give up, and don't you give in. You want to keep praying like never before because you are on the brink of something great and it doesn't look like it in the physical realm, but the Bible says that the darker that it gets, the lighter it's going to get for you. The Bible says, even the thing over in El Paso, Texas, that was a demon, that was a wicked one, that was an evil one that shot up all them people. Over there, 20 people dead and 26 injured, and the 26 are in the hospital right now. Do you think that was God? No, that was the devil. That was the enemy. But God says, I'm looking for a man to be able to go to El Paso, Texas, and to be able to decree and declare and to see people saved. I need a person that can be able to pray, that can hear my voice and have my heart. And when they open their mouth, I'll move because they have my. Am I talking to anybody up in here? I'm looking for somebody who's willing to labor in prayer. I'm looking for somebody that I can speak through and deal with. I'm looking for somebody that will lay hands on the sick that they'll recover. Oh, God doesn't do that anymore. Are you serious? The Bible says that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He said now is faith, the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not seen. By it, the elders obtained a good report. Do we have any people that have faith in this place? Do you have faith in your prayer? That when you pray, do you believe that God is answering your prayer? Or do you think it's just a now I let me down to sleep? Do you think that when God is hearing your prayer, do you think that God is answering it? Somebody say, God is answering my prayers. I know he is. Come on, somebody say, I know God is answering my prayers. I'm sure about it because I've got faith. He said it's impossible to please God without faith. You must understand that there's certain things that please you. There's certain things that please other people, but the only thing that pleases God is faith. And so my faith is in order. I love God like nothing else. I love him more than my whole life. I will do anything for the Lord. Why would I serve a God that I've never seen in the physical? But I'm letting you know that I saw him in the spiritual. One Tuesday evening in my living room, I threw up my hands. Did anybody get saved up in here? I didn't see Jesus physically, but he came into my heart. And how did he come into my heart? He came in by faith. And when he came in by faith, that wasn't where it stopped at. And then came along a little while later and he filled me with the power of the Holy Ghost. And I'm getting worse every day. People think that I'm going back out into the world. Tell somebody I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to go through my test. And everybody's got a test and everybody's got a trial. If you are in the world, you're going to go through a trial. If you are in the church, you're going to go through a trial. So I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. not talking to anybody up in here. I believe there's a Holy Ghost inside of you that is leaping right now. If I'm talking to you, why don't you stand on your feet and give the Lord a praise offering? Come on, would you stand on your feet? Don't stop now. Come on here. Come on, you got to put your faith in action. The Bible says faith without works is dead. And right now, the Bible says that Darius prayed 3 times a day, even when he got the word, because Daniel knew that his blessing came from prayer. Daniel knew that if he prayed, that things were going to happen. Somebody needs to start praying right now. Somebody needs to start praying for that family. Somebody needs to start praying for that husband and wife. Somebody needs to start praying for their body. Come on, pray in the name of Jesus. The Bible says with all prayer and supplication, let your report be named unto him. If you pray in English, pray in English. If you speak in tongues, speak in tongues. The Bible says with all prayer and supplication. Come on, would you pray, 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 pray. Pray in the name of Jesus. Come on here. Hallelujah. Daniel was hard-headed. You think you're going to take my prayer life? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Come on, pray. Come on, pray, pray, pray. Come on, open your mouth up and pray. Come on, clap those hands. Come on, clap those hands. Clap those hands and pray. Come on, when you clap those hands, there's light. Don't you know that you are the light of the world? And when you clap your hands, it blinds the devil. The devil can't handle light. And this is why when you pray, clap those hands and glorify God. And believe that God is doing it for you. And we bless you and thank you. Come on, you got about 15 more seconds under this anointing. Hallelujah, Jesus. I'm not going to stop praying. I can't stop praying. I can't stop praying. I'm hard-headed. Hey! Oh, he said, set your face like a flint. Set it like a flint. Set your face like a flint. You got to look that devil in his face, and you cannot let him back you down. Oh, I feel something right there in the atmosphere. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. My house should be called the house of prayer. Come on, that's right. Pray, pray, pray. You're talking to a big God. You're talking to a God that can come into your situation and turn your situation around. You're talking to a big God, a God that is ready to move on your behalf. You're talking to a big God that knows your situation, that knows your heart. You're talking to a big God that is at your house and here at the same time. You're talking to a big God. Go speak to him now with a name.
Hallelujah, Lord.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Oh my God, I feel something right there. I feel something right there. Thank God for a prayer life. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for the prayer life. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Hey, hey, hey. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord God. I was on the phone just yesterday in a conference call with Alveda King, Martin Luther King's niece, James Cannon, Nick Cannon's father, some other pastors across this globe. And they started talking. And in the middle of it, Brother Cannon said, wait a minute. We forgot to do something. He said, we forgot to do something. He said, pray. With all these folk on the phone, this man of God began to cry out. Cry out for the nation. Cry out for the one that God had placed in office, President Trump. Oh, I know that it gets on some folk nerve, but the Bible says I'm the one that put him in office. Read the book. I can show you the Bible. And he began to pray. And I'm listening to Alveda King, the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King. She's now Evangelist King. Hey, hallelujah. And as she began to pray, she began to cry out to God and use scripture and decree and declare. It's about prayer. The Bible says the darker that this earth gets, the more light which you lift up your hands is going to rise upon you.
Yes, Jesus. Yes, Jesus.
And just like Esther,
Yes, Jesus.
the Bible says that Esther spent 1 year bathing with perfumes and spices because she had one night with the king. And I came to let somebody know that you've been bathing in spices all this time. You've been getting ready. Woo, I felt that right there.
Come on.
You've been getting ready for such a time as this. The Bible says that Esther was chosen instead of Vashti because Vashti said no. But Esther said, I'll go. And would you let the Lord know today, I'll do it. You've been bathing in spices. You've been bathing. You've been before the Lord. You've been believing God for years. You've been believing God for a long time.
Yes, Jesus. Yes, Lord.
And I hear the Spirit say, it's your turn now. Woo, somebody want to receive that. Somebody receive that. It's your turn. Sister Peggy said it's your B time. It's your time. That's right. With all your heart, pray with him and talk to him right now. Right now. You have to hear this. Talk to him. You've been preparing. You've been on the backside of the desert and you've been preparing. People didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. You have been preparing. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I feel the power. Thank you, Lord. Yes. It's going to happen with speed. It's going to happen quickly. The elevation is going to happen quickly. It's going to happen fast. It's going to happen.